A very warm welcome to our Sky Thoroughbred Central audience. Joining us once again, it's the feature of the day, the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup. Scott Verlaines, Grant and Alana Williams. Not William Pike today. Chris Parnham takes the ride. He's all the rage. He's been all the talk of the town throughout this week. Does he get the job done?
Look, a fortnight ago he was so impressive, Lockie. He rises 4 kilos here. They all have to cover an extra 200 metres, but realistically there's not a lot of new coming flesh to this race out of the Boulder Cup to the Kalgoorlie Cup. So as long as he can run that 2100 out to 2300 with an extra 4 kilos, I don't see why he doesn't win again.
And we're about to find out. The first horse we'll preview, however, is the locally trained Utgard Loki for Peter Fernie, and Jared Noski takes the ride.
Well, they obviously bought him to win a Kalgoorlie Cup, but I'm sure they would have wanted a little bit more going into today. He was beaten 6.5 by Rocky Path in the Tats Cup. He was beaten 2.5 by Crescent City in the Coolgardie Cup. And then most disappointingly, he was beaten 13 by Verlaines in that Boulder Cup. And he only meets Verlaines 3 kilos better for that massive margin. They throw the blinkers on, but I think it's a little bit of a throw at the stumps.
The 2 is General Grant for SJ Miller and Michael Poy.
Go back 3 starts ago, he was able to beat Let's Deal on a Saturday at Belmont Park in a 72 plus. A reproduction of that sort of performance and that sort of rating would see him right in the mix here. He actually went around favourite in last year's Kalgoorlie Cup, but nothing really went right for him at any stage. His 2 runs since, beaten 8 by Candlelight Supper and Verlaines, and then beaten 9 by Verlaines, who he meets today 3 kilos better. He just hasn't been anywhere near the same horse as he was on the 19th of August.
The 3 Verlaines, he is our favourite. Boulder Cup winner last start, Grant and Alana Williams train. Chris Parnham takes the ride this afternoon.
Well, you continue to look at this form here on the page, Lockie, and you go, well, I know he rises 4 kilos, but he beaten by a length and 3/4 in the Boulder Cup, and he was only surging away from them in the shadows of the post. He gets out from 2100 to 2300 here. I know he loses Willie Pike. I know he rises 4 kilos. I know he has to cover an extra 200 metres, but it's very, very hard to tip past him here. I thought Chris Parnham could probably sit 3 back the fence in the middle stages, get a very economical run, and then try and work his way off the fence and hopefully show that turn of speed that saw him victorious in that Boulder Cup. He's the progressive horse in a field of, with all due respect, battlers.
He's a $2.30 chance as we speak. The next horse we'll preview is the 4, Powerful for Darren Pateman and Sean McGrady.
Well, this horse is coming out of a Carnarvon Cup win. He carried 61 kilos and he put them to the sword. It was on the dirt. It was over 2,000 metres. He rises up 300 metres here. He comes obviously down in 4 kilos in weight, but he also has to do it on top of the ground here today on the grass. He had 1 run here at the end of his broom preparation 12 months ago where he was victorious. But if you go back 12 months ago, Lockie, he won a 60-plus graduation that day. Today, he goes around in a listed Kalgoorlie Cup. That race was at a mile. That race was at 1400. This race here today is at 2300. So he's a very different horse 12 months later.
The 5 is Be Optimistic, our second favourite, and would be a very popular result. Local Kalgoorlie trainer Luke Fernie trains, Clint Johnston Porter rides.
Looks the obvious danger here and would not surprise one bit if Be Optimistic was able to turn the tables on Verlaines. Gets a 1.5 kilo weight swing for a 1 3/4 length defeat. They both get out to 2,300 metres here. They're both going to get back into the field and make their runs together. I love what she produced last start. She came out deep into the corner, whereas Verlaines cut the corner. I thought she was the obvious and probably only danger.
The 6th groundbreaker, well, we know where he'll be in running, Ted Martinovich, Brandon Louis.
But the difference is today he drew barrier number 4 of 10 in the Boulder Cup, whereas today he draws outside of our Norman. So I thought that with Troy Turner going on our Norman, maybe they just change up this speed map ever so slightly. I thought it would be lead for our Norman. I thought it would breeze for a groundbreaker. But again, we're talking about a 5-length margin beaten by Verlaines last start.
Before Grant Williams strolls out of the mounting yard, we'll catch up for a word. Grant, you saddle up the favourite in Verlaines. How's he been? How's he travelled up?
Yeah, he's travelled up good. Much the same as a couple of weeks ago. Obviously took a few days to get over that run, but his last week's been really good.
I just noticed as Chris Parnham was legged aboard, he's a little bit fresh. Is that like him?
No, not really. Flies are driving him a little bit mad, I think, but he'll be right now. He'll be out on the track. He'll be okay.
Me and him both, all going well. Do you expect him to get the job done?
Yeah, you can never expect anything, but it's more hoping. We're happy with the horse. He hasn't gone backwards. We're meeting the same field, obviously a little bit more weight, but yeah, I think Chris will be right.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
There's Grant Williams with a word on his favourite Verlaines, and we now will preview the 7, Chuck-a-Luck. Winkers go on for Ryan Hill and Vic Corver.
Well, this horse went around in the 2J Cup only, 12 days ago here. He drives a lot in weight out of that. It's 60 kilos down to 54, but he races a long way outside the handicap. They throw the winkers on. Victoria Corva, the claiming apprentice, she claims nothing here, so it's hard for a horse like him.
The 8, Dancing Jack, for Pamela Oram and Lisa Staples.
Well, as good as he was last start when running third in the Boulder Cup, he was also a horse that had won 3 from 60 starts. He went around at 100 to 1, and he was beaten 2 3/4. So, look, I'm probably going to look at it as not as much how good was the run of Dancing Jack, but how weak was that Boulder Cup field.
9, Ella Fella, Nadia Bishop and Peter Nucky.
Well, this horse was able to win the Broome Cup 2 starts ago. He was able to win the Ladies Cup at Port Hedland 2 starts before that. Look, he's a travelling horse. They're having a throw at the stumps here. He was beaten 8 lengths by Verlaines, but I probably go back to his run in the Broome Cup. He beat Powerful by 2 lengths. He concedes him 2.5 kilos, so it brings them very close together. Whatever price Powerful is, it should be a fairly similar quote for Ella Fella.
The 10 is Our Norman for Chris Willis, and Troy Turner rides this afternoon.
Well, I know that Chris Willis flagged a Kalgoorlie Cups campaign for him when he was victorious 6 or 7 starts ago at Belmont Park. In fact, 77 days ago. We can see that on the form guide here. But since then, he hasn't probably been the same animal. He is, however, going to see out the full 2300. So if Troy Turner's able to lead early from Groundbreaker, he's the horse they'll need to run down. And
11, Recalled for Darren McAuliffe and Joey Azzopardi.
Go back 7 days ago, he ran 4th behind Bad Wolf, beaten 1 3/4. He raced outside the handicap in that race, Loki. That was a 66 plus. This is a listed Kalgoorlie Cup, so he also races outside the handicap, yet he's probably going around in single figures. That's how thin this field is.
Assessing this market, Verlaines is still our favourite at 235. It's just been a touch easy in betting over the last 20 minutes. Be optimistic. 350 into 330. Punters are happy to follow the mare aboard. Recalled is 11 into 10. Powerful 14 into 13. Groundbreaker 14 out to 15. And 16 out to 17 for Our Norman. So there's not a lot to report in terms of a market, not at this stage anyway. How did you order the 4?
Look, reluctantly, I went with Verlaines because he just looked the obvious in this race. He was the winner of the Boulder Cup by length and 3/4. He meets his main rival, Be Optimistic, 1.5 kilos worse at the weights, but I thought on the line, Verlaines was running away from Be Optimistic. So if you give him an extra 200 metres here, I thought Verlaines would do the same thing again, even without Willie Pike and even with an extra 4 kilos. 3 Verlaines, 5 Be Optimistic. They ran the Cornella in the Boulder Cup. I would be imagining that they probably either run the Cornella here in the Kalgoorlie Cup. 4 Powerful brings certainly a level of intrigue coming out of the Carnarvon Cup, the Broome Cup, the Kimberley Cup, the Cable Beach Caravan Park Cup. They're all dirt races back here onto the grass today. And number 10 next best in Our Norman, who's drawn inside of main speed rival in Groundbreaker. So I thought he could lead and control the speed, and from there potentially give a bit of a kick on straightening. 3, 5, 4, 10. I'm by no means bullish aboard Verlaines, but by process of elimination, Lockie, I struggled to find other rivals.
On a fairly skinny card in terms of betting propositions, was this your best bet?
It was, but that was probably more so a what's in this race as opposed to let's get on and make some money.
Fair enough. Horses are just about to begin the loading process ahead of the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup. Scott's on-top selection is the favourite. Verlaines, I'm sure the most popular on-course result would be Optimistic for local trainer Luke Fernie. As we hand you upstairs to Darren McAuliffe to call home the 2023 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup.
So the field is taking shape here at the 2300. A race that was first staged in 1897, won by Paul Pry, and has been uninterrupted subsequently since. One of the state's most famous events. As Recalled from the McAuliffe stable goes in, we wait on a roughie, Dancing Jack, and Be Optimistic carries the hopes of some very much loved locals. Trained by Luke Fernie, 4th generation Goldfields trainer, making his mark these days, of course, though, in the metropolitan area. And the line will be completed by Be Optimistic. In fact, the lights are on. And so for 4X, this is the 2023 edition of the Kalgoorlie Gold Cup. The starter coming around to the ladder, the legend of the round, Dr. Brent Hunt, watching on from the sidelines. All the lanes becoming upset. Verlaines, the favourite, wrestled with by a couple of the gate attendants. They steady the fave. In goes Be Optimistic. They're ready. The lane standing better. Light continues to flash. Chris Parnham still getting some assistance, but he lets them go. Racing now in the cup, and now Norman off the inside flew the gates, and Powerful got out of the machine like a bullet. Straight across looking for the rail, and Elefella follows them over. It's on the outside as they settle down Powerful, and he'll head off our Norman in a surprising move, and Be Optimistic is going to go forward for Johnston Porter. Coming off the fence, our Norman though, so he got pratted 3 deep at the judge. Elefella, General Grant kicks up in the middle, and Verlaine's down on the inside of those. A length away, Recall, Groundbreaker, Utgard, Loki, Dancing Jack, and dropping out last in the early part of the cup is Chuckaluck. They've left the straight behind them, going over to the 1600, and Powerful leads the way from Be Optimistic. Elefella sitting a little deeper on the track. The favourite pushing through now. Well placed Verlaine's on the inside of our Norman. 3/4 of a length away then to Groundbreaker, approaching the 1400 as they march up to the back straight. A length away to General Grant, then Dancing Jack, Utgard, Loki sitting 3 deep around those. The speed has come off now, followed by Recalled, and Chuckaluck is a clear last. Over into the back they go, and racing to the 1200 metre mark, and Powerful shows the way in the Kalgoorlie Gold Cup by a length on Elefella. Over on the inside to Be Optimistic, getting a gun run for the hyphenator. It's over on the inside of Groundbreaker, a bit more than a length our Norman. Verlaine's had just lost a bit of touch with them, got back midfield. A length off them is Utgard, Loki, Dancing Jack, General Grant back in the field, and Recalled, and still last is Chuckaluck, and they're about to set sail down Charles Street. So there's 750 from home in the cup, and it's Powerful that's making all the play. Powerful's in front by a length on the big fellow. Elefella cruising up for Nucky. Be Optimistic in a bit of a pocket now at the 600 mark. Groundbreaker hooks out 3 deep. Our Norman being asked to go. Verlaine's has to bide its time behind them. Followed around the outside, Utgard, Loki, Recalled, as well as back there in the field, Dancing Jack, Chuckaluck, General Grant eased out of the cup. Powerful leads them for home at the top of the straight. Be Optimistic got off the fence though. Verlaine's follows him through. Powerful led, 250 to go. Be Optimistic closing the margin. 2 lengths Verlaine's, and down the outside starting to run on is Recalled. Powerful, Be Optimistic, Recalled, Verlaine's in an epic cup. Be Optimistic, Recalled, Be Optimistic. They're going to split it together. All tight, Be Optimistic. I think it's Be Optimistic and nose Recalled. Powerful third, Verlaine's fourth. Chuckaluck followed home by Dancing Jack, Groundbreaker, Utgard, Loki, our Norman next home, Elefella next to last, and General Grant has finished a furlong away at the rear of the field. Waiting for the numbers. A cup for the ages. 5's got it, Be Optimistic. 5, Be Optimistic, the winner of the 2023 Kalgoorlie Gold Cup. 11 second, Recalled. In 2:24.22 and 4 Powerful. Gutsy third. 4th, number 3, Verlaine's. The interim placings are 5:11, 4 and 3. What a race it was. What a ride it was by Johnston Porter. Off the fence at the right time. Parnham followed his every move with Verlaine's, and then all of a sudden it was Recalled from the back. Surging late. The hyphenator, Johnston Porter, riding like a man inspired. In the colours of the late, the great Bronte Stewart. A famed figure in racing in the region, and who dreamt of one day winning a cup. His family celebrate today. We'll get to the yard. There will be emotional scenes as Be Optimistic, trained by Luke Fernie, a 4th generation trainer, emulates the deeds of his father Pete, with Be Optimistic getting home and holding on by a short half head in one of the great cups. A short neck 2nd and 3rd. The winner by Blackfriars from Ellie's Dream, Luke Fernie, T. Flamati, Terry Leighton, L. Stewart, Z. Stewart, Mrs. S. Stewart, M. Bayliss, P. Flay, B. Royal, the Bayliss Family Racing Group. Some fabulous people involved in the ownership of Be Optimistic, and trained by Luke Fernie, who was so confident his horse could claim a Gold Cup. Home in 35.91 with Johnston Porter coming back, and it was a ride of the ages today. And you can sense the satisfaction, the joy, the jubilation as he comes back on the winner. 11 has run second, Recall by Epaulet. Joe has a party for Darren McAuliffe, and third for Powerful by Nakoni, Sean McGruddy, Darren Pateman. Let's go to our team in the yard, Loki Taylor. What a win, what a race it was, and what a result it is for these owners.
What a win, Darren. Thank you very much. What a win for the local trainer in Luke Fernie. He has made his name down in the local metropolitan area. And Luke, you join your father on the Kalgoorlie Cup honour roll. He won the race in 2018 and 2014. How does it feel?
Yeah, red hot. I'm pretty scared for the next couple of days, old for us. But she has been sensational in her last couple of runs. And I thought if everything went to plan and she got the right run, she'd be very hard to beat. And she's been very professional the whole way through. Coming to the first corner, I thought, geez, we're in a bit of trouble there. I didn't want her without cover. And then the Magician, he got outridden by Pikey last time, so we had to pull one out of the hat this time round, and yeah, it was fantastic.
You speak about last start, the fact that perhaps Pike outrode Clint, and I know you weren't all that happy with Clint after the Boulder Cup. Knowing that Pike gave Verlaines every possible chance last start, did you come into today confident, knowing that you could turn the tables on the red-hot favourite?
Yeah, I mean, Willie's obviously a very good rider, and Clint was sort of a victim of circumstances in a way the last time. They went stupidly quick in front, and Willie took the shortcuts where Clint had to make his own run, and I want to kiss him and probably marry him tonight if I have enough beers. But yeah, I couldn't be happier, mate.
On the line, did you know you had it won?
I carried on like an absolute pork chop when it's gone across the line. I thought it was home, probably 6 or 7 lengths.
You've had a big week. It's been a big few days for you. Always is at the Kalgoorlie Cup Carnival. Well done, savour it, and look after yourself.
Yeah, I was a bit puffed before this race, but I reckon I found 6 lengths, so we're sweet.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.
There's Luke Fernie, a very, very happy man after taking his hometown cup. And Clint Johnston Porter, I hope, is now catching up with Scotty Embry.
He's not quite, Lockie. He is going to come back after he weighs out. We are hearing that the connections of the second horse in Recall are going to look at the film here, because there was some sort of movement in the home straight. So it's not all of a sudden over and done with yet, but certainly for now, Clint Johnston Porter is the first past the post in the Kalgoorlie Cup, and he's going to come for a word here after the victory. So once Clint Johnston Porter weighs in, we'll get a word with him, but back to you for now.
It's not without controversy. It wouldn't be a Cow Cup without it. Potentially a protest on the hands here, so stand by. It's been emotional scenes. Luke Fernie is obviously wrapped, and many, many very happy owners, Kalgoorlie based as well. Numbers out of the Cow Cup are 5, 11, 4 and 3. But stand by, there could be some controversy. Scott, I wasn't privy to the head-on footage. Have you managed to see the head-on at this stage?
No, I haven't. I can see Darren McAuliffe and Joey Azzopardi have just come straight out of the steward's room, so they're just making their way back this way now. We're waiting for Clint Johnston Porter still to weigh in. We're seeing a handshake here between Peter Fernie and Darren McAuliffe. No, and we're shaking our heads here, so it's going to be correct weight. Well, hopefully after Clint Johnston Porter comes back this way, but we're certainly hearing there won't be any protest on that vision that they're looking at here. They've been in, they've had a look at it, and they're very happy with what they've seen there. There is nothing more to be said, but as for Clint Johnston Porter, Lockie, I'm having a look in that steward's room now, and he's jumped off the scales, and I cannot see him for the life of me, so I'm not convinced he's actually coming back.
No, he's weighing in, so he might still be able to pad for another minute or so, because he was a very, very happy man. Celebrations were wild for Clint Johnston Porter as soon as his number went up on the semaphore board. Is he still there?
Yes, he is definitely still there. I can see him now in his Joey Azzopardi-esque haircut. He's going to make his way out, and we'll have a word after what is now the victory of Be Optimistic, and Clint's going to join me here. Clint, we go back a fortnight ago in the Boulder Cup. Willie Pike was probably going to go down in history for a serious ride on Verlaines, but today it's you that takes chocolates, and serious ride there, because it looked like earlier you're in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I was going to get posted, so I used my initiative. I wanted to roll forwards. It ended up folding out really well. Nucky come around me, and I went to the fence. The leader kicked on a lot stronger than I thought it was going to, and I just got out with ease, and it was, all over from there.
It's a sweet siren, isn't it, that sound? That is officially a Kalgoorlie Cup.
Yeah, I was a bit worried there for a second when they said they were looking at the film. I was going, don't take this off of me. We've been working hard to get the horse here, and I'm just wrapped to ride a winner for Luke in the Cup.
Luke's done a wonderful job. The mare's done a wonderful job too. 2,300 metres. I'm sure there were stages in her career where you thought she wouldn't get out to that sort of trip.
Well, even last start I was a bit sceptical. She was week late, but she was very tough this time.
Do you reckon you're any chance of getting that flight home tonight, or do you reckon Luke's probably going to hijack you here?
Big chance. Got to ride tomorrow.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
There's Clint Johnston Porter combining with Luke Fernie to take out the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup aboard Be Optimistic.